How that go? Cause it is.
She got style, grace. She got attitude. Feel it much in her touch. Show my gratitude. She got style, grace. She got attitude.
Uncle Maya, and welcome everybody to Smoking Conversations with Sakina-Ra. And thank you all for joining. Today, I did have something else planned, but greater always comes later. So today, we still have something planned because so much has happened throughout this week, and we know for sure what that is. We can't wait to always fall into and out of the gossip. Why? Because it's in the Bible. The gossipers, right?
The tea.
Come on. So the Husa is one of the Bibles, and it's in the Bible as well. Husa,
Here we go.
right? Because they said, she said, hey. She said, hey. So we're going to get into, we're going to get into some of the guests and some of the honors because a conscious mind is a wonderful mind. And sometimes they punish you for having it, right? But one of the great things about the conscious community is that we can give our honors and to respect to one of the greatest things about the conscious community, which is Sonetta TV. Right?
Hi.
Opened them doors up and brought into a whole community of different ideas, views, and opinions and minds, and took it to the street and brought it into the community. And we have a platform that we can bring in together, and like it or not, for better or worse, it is what it is, and it has brought in a whole society and community where we can come together, like it or not, just like a family. Yeah. So congratulations.
I would like to ask you a question though. In between that, do I get a name? You never introduced me, not ever.
I was finna get into that.
Name? Okay,
I'm about to get into that. So
you see how she leaves me out purposely. I keep telling y'all this.
No, I was trying to get into that, but you always seem to like chop me. Yes, because listen, this is another thing because Gemini.
Yes,
I call her the I.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Because this is the thing. Gemini is a goddess, y'all. Let's get that part out. Right? That goddess, that mother goddess deity. Listen here. They say once a mother, twice a child. Right?
Yeah.
The child came in as a mother for me.
That's good. I like that.
Okay. Sat back, and I'm always gonna say that, y'all, because we never told a story, but a story was told unbeknownst. So it's not what you say, it's what you don't say. So we always secretively throw out keys and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? But a long story short, this whole conversation, the smoking conversation, this whole operation, was built on a sisterhood, right? And I call her my eye. Okay, because she foresees things, right? And they call that Nile, right?
Okay.
The gift, right? The gift, right, of Egypt, right? And we always say, well, it's a saying, still waters run deep, right? And then we talk about these colors. These colors represent things, right?
Yeah. So we talk about deep stuff. What we saying?
Come on in.
We do. We talk about deep things because, right?
Come on
One
here.
thing too, even with my age, I am if I'm not deep, then what am I? I've been living on this earth for nothing. That's the way
You
I
see what I'm
see it.
saying? And then we
Like I
talk
have
about
to.
there we go. Then we talk about all of these things in the directions, but then the longest river
And
is
it looks
what?
like a flower. Oh my gosh, a big lotus
Come
flower.
on.
I love
And
that.
it's the longest river.
Yeah. It's
You see what
crazy
I'm
because that
saying?
particular river is earth and water.
You see,
It,
so
it's
it's the whole
bananas.
phenomenon
Yeah.
of it. You get what I'm saying? So it's so much more to it than they even know, even the unknown that they made up. They made up an extension to this whole story about Thoth, the Atlantean, and they threw it on
Mm.
Egypt.
Oh,
Okay?
oh, okay. You know what? I finally get what you're saying. I really do believe I finally get it because you've been talking about this for a minute.
Yes. So when
And
I'm
so,
gonna go into it later, right?
yeah,
Because
because I got some questions that I want to know because maybe that'll help clear it up, not only for me, but for other people too who have been trying to figure out which direction you was going with all of
exactly,
this.
because
Okay.
Thoth the deity in Kemet, I only kept trying to express to y'all that the deities and this idea and the deities in Kemet again was an expression and a practice.
Well, you
So
know what? I saw something last night on it, and I think it's simpler than that. Like people just really have the misconception
come
that
on
because
in.
when you see the Book of Thought, you see Aleister Crowley's face on it. But to be quite honest, he got the Book of Thought from Kemet. He pasted. I mean, he plagiarized and did all of that and all of that. And so I get that because I just saw a whole thing on that last night. As a matter of fact, the
Again,
whole
right.
internet right now is flooded with Aleister Crowley stuff, to be quite honest. The whole
Exactly,
internet is
because
flooded with it.
we went into culticism, and I was going into dictionaries and whatnot and what have you. We were going into schools and whatnot, and I was trying to let you know which was what, right? You could not say that the reverend or the church priestess or whatever they called him in Egypt, or not even Egypt, were in Rome or Greece. The same person that saw the star, the ones that read they called them archaeologists, they called them scientists, they called them the Joester, they called them the scribes over there, right? The one that sat next to the king, his advisor, right? The ones that read the stars and things, they still were the same astrologists, astronomers. They were still in the kingdom, right?
Okay.
They still have the same knowledge or practices of Kemet, but they got the Hebrews messed up. They said, stay away from them.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Well,
this
all
was
the while they were taken from them, right?
right,
They were trying to be
right,
just
because
like them. Yeah.
Moses got was reared or got knowledge from them. So this ain't that. So you
Hmm.
took some obituary stuff because once these people passed away, you read how they lived their life off of a wall,
Okay. Okay. That's a good connection. Yes.
right?
That's
You
a good,
read how they
yeah.
lived their life off of a wall in a place where they buried them. And now you said that's funerary practices. Now you find something and you say, don't do this because they were practicing witchcraft. Witchcraft came from your generation.
But you said some new shit on the block. Some new-
So when we
Yeah, to
burn,
be quite, yeah, yeah, because
right? So when we burn
it didn't have
witches
that
at the
same
stake,
name back in the day.
exactly. So
Yeah,
when
it
we
didn't have
burn the
that look.
witches at the
Yeah.
stake, we're going to burn exactly the witches because witchcraft was your stuff. and you were practicing it. So come on, let's burn the witches at the stake.
But that's the part of European history, though. That's not a part of.
Yes.
That's not a
So
part of. I mean, so why we just don't? Why? Okay, so we just need to cut straight to the chase, though. Like
come
it's
on
not our
in.
history. Yeah, it's
That's
not our
why that
people, not our thing. Okay, I get that.
yes, and this is why that preacher hit the nail on the head when he said those Greeks got y'all messed up. And that was
Wait
the
a,
best. Yes, because it was
wait a
right on the
minute though.
head.
Let's lead into because you all I hear
Come
when you
on in,
say that though,
sister.
Sakina,
No, but I was
is
saying that
no,
also to give
listen, all I
you
hear when
the
you say that,
gratitude that was said, because back to that again, when these youngins come in and you don't give them that attention to tell them or listen to them, you pass up the whole message,
oh,
because sometimes they be trying to tell you and you don't listen.
oh.
But then when somebody else
Mm.
come in and say it, you will try to tell them be quiet, and they said the same thing. So you
Ah,
can teach your old dog new tricks, and this is why I appreciate you so much. I call you that eye, because people don't listen, because they think you young and you don't know what you're talking about, but yet you still don't respect your elders. When will you learn?
mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
I hear what you're saying, but sis, listen, I'm trying to talk about Elder Yara last night. Goodness
Oh,
gracious. I'm trying to talk about, yeah,
come on,
when you, I
let me
mean, that
shut
was the
up. Let me
perfect
shut
segue.
up.
I was trying. I was like, let's get to, like, that was the perfect segue to talk about the beat down by Elder Yara last night. That was a good, oh, juicy debate. Oh, I couldn't wait for to hear them pastors. Them pastors, oh, I love all of them. Can, will all of y'all marry me? Blasphemous, the blasphemous child. Did you hear her on Smoking
Ooh,
Conversations?
come
Greetings, just
on.
greetings. She need 5 husbands. Ain't that what it said in the Bible though?
Ooh, ooh.
Except this is 2024. We're gonna put another spin, right? We're gonna put another spin on their Bible to
Mm,
include
mm,
that
mm.
one woman can have 5 husbands. And I'll take
Listen,
all 5 of them, Alex, for 500. Those Christian pastors that was on Sinetta's last night with
listen.
all of that, and suits and titles.
Yes, yes. Peace to the
Fine
chat.
men they were. Fine
Yes.
men.
Thank y'all for being here. Yes, this is why I smoke today.
And they all look good, had clear skin,
Yes.
good hair, vernacular.
Listen.
What was going on? They let Elder Yara beat the pants off of him. One man alone.
I thought they
And
was
then
playing
called it
tennis.
semantics, right? Didn't have the nerves to call it semantics when he pulled off that Greek translation and whooped their ass with that one thing. What was it? Magonese? That word, oh my gosh. I was
Listen.
like, listen, oh my gosh, come on, Yara. I mean, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't, you know, here and there for me, Yara's a hit and miss sometimes because he's just he's quick to, you know, want to fight and whatnot instead of just, holding a conversation for long term. Like I think if he just, let the conversation flow without wanting to control and dominate it, he could get more in. Last night he did. He slowed down and he was able to do his full presentation without blowing his top. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, come on through, Yara. Like, damn, we didn't know you had that in you. And he stood 10 toes. They gang banged him.
You gotta
Like
know when to fight
7
your
against 1, too, because War Child joined in.
listen.
They was
It's
tapping
just
their homeboy in, tap me in. Like, damn. It was in the
yeah.
chat too. They was all trying to whoop Yara's ass. It was insane. I was like, oh man. I was like, listen though,
Yes.
when he pulled out a source of source, it was like pulling out a joker on your ace of spades, the big joker.
Oh, yeah. This church hurt thing is going too far though, but it is
Damn.
real. Don't get it twisted. It is real.
Like, oh man, last night. I mean, they stayed up at hours and hours and hours because I think I tapped out at about 4 hours and something. I was like, I can't take it no more. Y'all gotta go to sleep. But they was getting it in.
Yeah, they
and the
were.
pastor stayed what, an extra hour longer than they had to, hour and a half.
Listen,
And that pastor said, look, and it made that Dr. Jeffries feel good, right? He up there talking about, I forgot how this could be. I ain't been in an arena like this in a long time. Well, welcome,
yes,
Dr. Jeffrey Carruthers. Welcome to the motherfucking HLK. It's how we get down.
yes.
Where a party ain't party until you debating about the right kind of shit.
Come on and bring it on in.
Let's
Because
do
that,
it.
yes, because that
Bring
made me
you and
feel
your
like
1,200 Bibles and concordances. You can bring your whole church pew if you want to, but let's go.
that part and stop it, because if we're not going to connect these dots, then what is it?
Girl, they
That,
ain't have fun in a long time till they came on last night.
come on.
They was like, hey, they wasn't trying to leave. That was Sakina-Ra to put their ass out. I never put them out.
He didn't want them to really feel the toughness of the environment.
Right? The pastor said, he said, but I forgot who was that hit him with something. He said, I ain't been in this kind of environment in a long time. Y'all was like, you feeling that energy, ain't you, Pastor?
I think he loosened up that tie a little bit, didn't he?
Didn't
like,
he?
whoa.
Didn't he?
Like,
let me get
out the napkin on him. He was like,
okay. And who was that? Reginald Young. I think that was Gospel Ray. Oh man, listen. He was like, hey, they got Ashes, whatever his name was, Ashes. He was like, hey, I didn't already sit here and beat up what's his face long time ago, right? But it didn't stop him. It did not stop him from like, hey, you know what? I'm with all of my homeboys. This the pastor, he a pastor. Everywhere you look, pastor. Right? We just sit here and beat y'all down tonight. You little wannabes, you little no silk suit having. You little don't own one Armani suit in your closet. We don't pass the tithes and offices at your job, do we? That's what we thought. That's what we thought.
Apostle was trying to get in. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me get Apostle in it. Now I know.
He was like, you know what? Sakina-Ra, you ain't nothing but a coward, bro. You ain't nothing but a coward.
I'm trying to tell you. Hold on, I'm trying to tell you. In '74, when they opened the door and let Noah back from the hatchback, get back one time.
Oh my God, it was going down. I was like, listen. I was like, oh man, we was like, Apostle about to crash out. He about to crash out. He crashed out. Oh my gosh.
It was just
bananas. It was bananas.
He said, you never let me get the mic one time. Hold up.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It was so crazy because they thought they was ready, right? They pulled out, that Dr. Jeffrey Carruthers, right? He pulled out his map. He had his history on speed dial, right? He was ready, but he just wasn't ready.
Oh,
and it was
because the pastor was getting ready to go, but he said, Sakina-Ra said, let the pastor speak, let Apostle get it in right quick. And he was like, yes, Pastor, I was ready for you because I had to come in and sneak in my little question right quick because I heard when you said and such and such and such, he was ready. Like, and I'm gonna pull out my Rolodex because I gotta I'm gonna go back to when you said
I swear. I
he was
swear, it was
ready.
wild. It was wild as all get out. It was wild as all get out. I
And the
was like, you
pastor
know
sat back
what? We
like,
ain't had a good
hold
old
that question.
soiree like that in a long time over here at the HOK. Like, damn.
Yes, but it was good. It was really good. They
And
was ready.
the pastors wasn't ducking no smoke.
The Elder
They
Yara
wasn't
wasn't either.
ducking no smoke.
He wasn't either. He was saying, no, no, no. No, 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 no.
Y'all were whooped their ass.
Yara was like, no.
I
No, no,
couldn't
no.
I said, I was like, y'all not even gonna listen. I was like, y'all not gonna fight back, but then all of them start fighting back. Next thing you know, y'all had 100, 200 people against them, 398. Damn, all of y'all against
Yeah, he don't
Ara,
care.
Yara. He
He
sure
didn't
did
care.
not. He stood on
No,
10
I'm from Chirac.
toes. He was like,
No, 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 no. He was doing that Judah shit.
why you say the word, y'all? Mango niece.
Yeah.
And he sat here and pulled up that word, the only begotten God, not the only begotten Son. Now that's a plot twist. Because if that's the case, right, by the whole conversation they were having, it's like, listen, are y'all talking about that? You know, are you saying that when only begotten God, you changed that word, you swapped God out for son, and all this time you've been teaching it as the only begotten son, and technically it means only begotten God? That's a big discrepancy. I don't care how much they would want to believe that Jesus is God, God is Jesus. However, they want to sit here and look at it. It's still two different things altogether. And
That's
y'all been
right.
smashing that up. They've been smashing that up for the longest. Like, man. And so when y'all brought that out, it was like, oh man, his source was that damn big joker. Give me all your damn cards. How many books was that?
That's
Oh man,
terrible.
that was whoo, Lord have mercy. That was a hoot. Because they
Terrible.
wasn't ducking no smoke, y'all. Facts. Golly. I went to sleep and woke up like, whoosh, whoosh. That was a
Mm-mm.
lot. That was a lot.
Terrible.
Hey, did you have, wait a minute, I'm supposed to give y'all some tea. Then y'all had Almond Rob McCarthy
Oh,
deleting all the non-Christian comments.
that mean they getting the Black Rock. They not going.
Look,
That mean you ain't going. You're
one of the
not. You're not
moderators said,
chosen.
"Oh, you got to stop all that sitting here trying to just erase messages that don't agree with you." But you know how Alvin Rob McCarthy is a gangster, right? He gangbang low key, like he a pastor in the church in the straight hood.
Oh, really?
Like, man.
Well,
So you know he a
Senate
diehard
background
pastor. He
too.
like that's why he ain't ever ducking no smoke. He don't care what you say. Like, Alvin Rob McCarthy is a whole G in these streets. So
Wow.
you know, it didn't matter what you told Alvin Rock. He was gonna do him. If you didn't like it, too damn bad. He
You know,
is not the Christian pastor punk.
right? But I don't.
He carry a whole AK-47, old school.
Pass the ammo. Praise the Lord.
Pastor Alvin Rock McCarthy is not playing that. You got the wrong one on. He is not him.
That's
That's all I'm
scary.
saying. So it was like, man, trying to, you hard pressed to ask him to stop deleting what he want to delete. He gonna do it anyways. And too bad. So sad. Stop
That's
whining,
sad.
right?
That is sad though, right? Listen, I seen a movie that said that. Pass the ammo. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, that's
This is
him.
sad. This
That's
is
Almond
really
Rod. That's
sad.
Pastor Almond Rod McCarthy for sure.
That's
He
apostle
don't got
too.
time for that.
Listen
So it's
here.
like, man, what so it was going down all kind of ways. Them Christians
Right,
was
but
trying to
this is
win,
my
and
thing.
they be cheating and shit. Them Christians is the one that be cheating at the racetrack.
Right, but and they carry pistols.
Right.
Right. So I mean, what are we
And they beat you
saying?
down in the church parking lot. Exactly.
Right, they carry pistols and what are we? The pistol passes? I guess that's why the apostles are pistols.
Yeah.
Right. Listen here. What are we preaching?
Guns and bullets. We preaching
Right.
guns and
So,
bullets. What you
and then
talking
they'll
about?
tell you about Kemet and all this spooky, but they're quick to pop you in the ass one.
Girl, listen. Only one of them knew about Kemet. That's why I'm saying, look at how they all worked together because they knew they was ready for us. Anything we had, they had a person on it, just the same way we do when we
Right.
debate.
Here they
We
come.
match strength for strength. Yeah, we match strength for strength. And
Well,
that's exactly what they did, right? Them pastors was ready for everything. They didn't know
mm,
everything about,
mm,
a commit. Only Dr. Jeffrey Carruthers. And he
right.
was behind a bookshelf in a leather chair.
Right. Just
The
misunderstanding.
Jabari, look, the Jabari of the Christians, pastors.
See, that's why
He was the
it's sometimes
epitome.
right. That's why I truly don't. Right, but they said the people that think about as above, so below is on that dumb shit. Pardon my French.
You know what? Listen, I'm gonna be real controversial here, but I'm honest about it. I cannot say that the Christian faith has been one of those faiths that uh, uh, came here, gone tomorrow. No, this is a whole lifestyle for billions around the globe. So something is right with this. We don't think that it's right because when you born and raised in it, most of us have a complete black church Christian background, right? Our grandparents before them, all they really loved was the Bible and nothing else. You weren't gonna tell them nothing else at that time, right? For the
Right,
majority, not everybody, but a lot of us, was in church 7 days a week. So we all know about church, but when you raised in it, we see all the ins and outs because we're advanced. We have that advanced advantage over somebody on the outside looking in. So we see everything wrong with it. And like, what was wrong with y'all when y'all were I mean, nothing was wrong because it got us where we are today. So we can't knock what was here before us. If the Christian church has something to do with the way that we are as a people today, then it is just that 360 going around. Kemet influenced Christianity. Christianity is now influencing people in America. And it has caused us to become the kind of
right,
people that we are today.
exactly. And Christianity,
We're a whole
well,
product
America
of it.
was built exactly. So, with that being said, I kind of want to say because I hope whenever we drop the link, engage. He said, "Be careful what you ask for," and I kind of agree with that, right? Because people say, "Be careful what you pray for," and remember we had that conversation because pray has two descriptions, and when you prayin, other people are preyin on you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why
Yep.
you do have to be careful for what you pray for.
Oh, we got a music break in here. Was that your cell phone ringer? Oh my God. She is in love. Sakina's in love with Chris Brown, y'all. Is that what we saying? Sakina Chris Brown sitting in the tree.
You liking what you see? Come on. Everything that's on me.
Whole
How?
group of y'all here in these streets, y'all. That's a
Yeah.
shame. But hey, Chris Brown fine too. Hey, wait a
Right.
minute. Not only can he sing, but he fine. I mean, and sorry y'all for all the men who are sitting here watching. We females, and it just is what it is. So we're
Yeah.
trying to keep all that out, but
Yeah. So that's just the thing. So it's not saying my whole thing is from what they put into the twist into this for Americanizing it, right? Because the Eastern um I can't even get the word out right now because y'all know. But from Eastern to Western countries, and now we got all these different dictionaries and what the words are different, y'all. So however the principles and the practices were then, they mean a whole different thing now.
yeah,
Right.
facts.
So y'all really have to understand where I'm coming from. So to be able to relate to that. So with the mindset that you have and what I'm talking about, you're gonna say these type of things. right? So unless you walk it like you talk it, you're never going to understand that. So a bigger principle to anything I might say, you might have to come to corporate conversations to relate this understanding. Because if you don't live it or walk it or anything to that magnitude, right, on a minor level, you're never going to understand it to a multi-level of an
Oh,
understanding.
oh,
And I'm not trying to say that on no disrespectful thing. One is because I might be older than you, so I might have done more than that on a different level of an aspect, being a mother, an ex-wife, a grandmother at this stage. I'm a triple auntie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying it on way a bigger aspect of that. I'm not even throwing a career or anything to that level. I'm just saying it from that aspect mindset on its own. You see what
yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
no, but it's good to sit here and bring that out though, right? Because that's what we want to do.
Exactly.
We want to sit here and
Exactly.
bring out the
So,
fact that how the influences from Christianity influence
yes,
us here in the Americas, right? Not just black people, just influence us in general. Like, look at
exactly. And
us. We are not the same black people, even though we have the same, makeup, but you put us side by side clearly. We've done some evolving over time. So this conversation, is going to be a good conversation because I really do think we should talk about it, talk about some of the different influences. Again,
right. And
Christianity
so,
stole things from Kemet and produced what?
and
These
a
Hebrew
lot of,
Israelites in between or whatever,
yes,
whatever. Yeah, okay.
exactly. And
And
a
then
lot
you
of
put
that
you
that you
fast
hit on
forward.
today.
Yeah,
Exactly.
then there's us. And
Come
then
on.
because this America is heavily influenced by Christian, right? Catholicism is still number one. Christianity, though, is number two. I think Islamic is number three. Judaism is number four, and then all the other religions combined,
They were
are
stemmed.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
are at
stemmed
the
from
bottom.
that.
And so, yeah, it's a look at us. I mean, so when it comes to acceptance, we definitely have to accept that we are African people, African descendants, however you want to call it. Doesn't matter as long as you are acknowledging Africa somewhere up in there. We're great with that, right? And then we are these Black Americans here, so that is a conversation to be had.
Right. And we can definitely walk through it because if you look at yourself from that micro part of a macro, then you can fall as she breaks it down of how these behaviors and whatnot influence you in the workplace and the society. Then you can find out through slavery, right, how the Constitution was broke down and how you fell into the melting pot in the workforce through all of that, and how it was
Yeah.
everything fell and changed because you went from the beast or the product
Yes.
into a
Ooh.
human, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so you
Mm-hmm.
will find that liberty was your first thing. Your ancestors brought you from liberty to freedom. You was not having
Mm-hmm.
freedom. You had to get liberty. And in order to
When you had
get
to get liberated, yeah, liberty, which
order
was
to get
liberated, yeah.
liberated, that means you had to be human. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So in order
Yeah.
to even so you wasn't even considered human.
Yeah,
Right?
because we had to conform, right? So when you throw in that conformity,
Right. So
because you
now
have to ask yourself, what are you trying to be liberated from?
right? So now, in order to even do that, then you could be considered racism. How about that? So when we talk about racism, get to being a human first, then you can be ethnically challenged to be racism. Because as long as you are still considered an animal, ain't nobody worried about you being a black nothing because you're not even considered human. So until they
Mhm.
figured out what was white, then they could figure out what was colored or black. And now you can be liberated and now you can be a human.
Now you
Now
can be
you can,
free.
you see, now you can be free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, first, yeah,
now,
but you need to get liberated first.
there you
And you
go.
have, and again, ask yourself, liberated from what, right? You are being liberated from when she says, be a human, liberated from all the things that they thought was of a animalish behavior,
Right.
right? Get
To
rid
be
of
able to
your,
think for
yeah,
yourself.
get rid of a lot of that culture, that you came over here with. That's what they
No.
liberated us from.
To be able to say that common sense was the five regular senses that you could think for yourself, that you could be
Yeah,
able
but
to
first I'm
talk
saying
for
even
yourself.
before then though, they had to erase us and start over, is what I'm saying. They didn't just let us keep bits and pieces of ourselves in the beginning when we first came over here. They had to get rid of that, which again is, our culture, the kind of food we eat, the way we think. Those goes into what you're saying, into the thoughts. They had to
Yeah.
they had to strip us first of a lot of basic things that we came over here with, knowledge of self, right? And then
No,
replace it with
right.
liberty. Okay, and then what is liberty? It's all
Right.
those things you're saying.
Right. Because then we can get into what we would consider or what they thought was culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
What they thought, not
Yes.
what we came over here
Yes.
with. Yeah,
Yes, and then
yeah,
we can get into what they
absolutely.
thought, because this is when after the colonizing and what we gonna consider, right? Because we talking about a brand new world which was colonized and developed, which was also stolen from another people, right? And so
Mhm.
this whole story you gotta was created. This whole North America was stolen and created, and it was also told to you as well. By who? The same people. So you can't just take and
That's
believe
deep.
the pieces you want to and say this is what and this ain't, because you were never there from the beginning. So always go with an open mind and a pen and a piece of paper and take it all, because just getting
Mhm.
another book, that's all wonderful, but you still got to base it all on your opinions based on the facts to get to the truth.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can always call somebody a lie if you want to, but that don't make you be the great nothing. Because anybody that
Mhm.
can't settle down and make enough decisions to be the boss of anything has to create their own job based on that mindset to have that ability. That's who make it to the Fortune 500s, because they have to be their own boss and they create their own jobs. So that's who makes it to the Fortune 500s. They don't have to answer to nobody. People answer to them. And if you can't do that, then you gonna have
So,
to bow down and ask.
Sakina,
Come on. I'll go too long. Come
so
on, break.
okay. Right.
Come
You
on.
be going all in right. You be going into the core values, what we call at work, the core values.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
my gosh, right?
I'm sorry.
So, at any rate, do we have any other debates coming up in the collective? That's what I'm trying to get into.
I thought
I'm like,
one of the pastors
who
is
is
supposed to be
putting the
debating
smash
Jabari.
down with who? Who
One
is
of the
debating
debaters is
Jabari?
supposed to be one of the I think it was Dr.
Do you
Jeffrey is
think
supposed to be
Jabari really gonna
debating.
show up? I've been thinking this has been a lie. I have not, but ever since I've been hearing that, I have not believed it. Because why would Jabari come and debate this person that's not even he knows not on his level? Why would he do that? That doesn't make sense to me. To me, that's suspect. You suspect. So I mean, that's just me though. That's just me. But if Jabari really
I don't even know
coming,
what they're
I don't
going.
know.
I don't know what they're
I'm
going to
trying to figure
debate.
this out. I'm like, is he coming for real? Is this what we're saying? Okay.
What would
I
they
want to see
debate?
it. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe Jabari's coming.
What would they debate? The misunderstanding, and
I
I
don't know.
wouldn't.
I don't know. I don't even
I
know
don't
what they're
know
debating. I
either.
just been hearing it. All right, like I've been
I
hearing
just
it, and
heard
I'm
it
like,
last
okay,
night. Well, that ain't the first time I heard
like
it. I think this is the second time I heard it, but
I
now I
don't
put a
know what
face.
they. Yeah, I don't know what Jabari did, but I'll believe it when I see it. That's all I'm saying.
Right, and it's the 28th or the 29th.
What again? I don't know. I think this is all rumor mill at this point. I mean, really, y'all, I don't believe Jabari is coming. I don't know. I don't know. I just get that overall feeling like, what? But if he come, he come. But I don't think he's coming. That's just it.
Well, listen, it would be something, though, wouldn't it?
God, I mean, it would be. No, seriously, real talk. Like,
It would be
you
something,
know.
especially if
So,
like the Kit Kat or something. If they could come together and say, yeah, then that would be like, what?
yeah, but you know, Jabari ain't gonna let nothing slide. He ain't let shit slide. Not no incorrect stuff. And so if he realizes he just got to beat you, that's what he thinks to do. I mean, he'll try to
Yeah,
spare you
but
as long as possible. But then once he realizes that, listen, you don't leave me no choice but to beat that ass. That's exactly what he's gonna do.
but what he said was that there was a mistranslation or something between what the Greek said and what Kim had said, or I don't see nothing wrong.
Jabari, Salih bin Yah wants to know who we're talking about. Jabari, you
Right.
think Jabari coming? I don't think Jabari coming. I don't see that.
I can't say if he gonna show or not because I haven't seen Jabari in a minute on HOK.
Right,
So
that's what I'm saying. I mean, and I
right,
ain't seen. I mean, for real, I ain't seen no advertisement about it. I've just been hearing it through the grapevines, like little whispers here and there, like Jabari's coming and he's going to be debating whoopty whoop, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, what? When I first heard it, I was like, what? Make
well,
no
you know,
sense. Not
Jabari
even
always
hardly
pop up
makes
like
sense. But
Ego Waffles anyway, right?
yeah, I mean, like if that's what they wanted, then though, like fine.
Right,
But I
he
just
pop
don't
up
think
like
Jabari's coming. I mean, to debate, unless he's just trying to get his ass off the house because he bored, been in the house way too long. Sometimes the internet is the saving grace, and all of us
right,
who know each other but we don't know each other hop on here and chop it up. You can't act, and we all collectively got the same interest. So how
right.
you
That's what
beating
I'm
that?
saying.
How you beating that? You not.
So he might just
You
pop
not. You
up
know,
like an egg
come
on.
your ass online and kick it with the rest of us.
Mm. Yeah, he might pop
You
up
know what
though.
I mean?
I don't know. It'd
Yeah,
be nice.
if he need his online fix, he's gonna show up. But if he doesn't and he's like, already, you know, uh full, he's like, nah, he gonna capsize
Well,
that
why
up
would they
and not
set a
show,
whole
and that's gonna be
date?
that.
Why would they set a whole date like the 29th?
Well, because maybe he had time at that time. We don't know. They probably set up a date thinking, Jabari probably set up that date a while back. And you know how things change as time go on.
But the Mississippi Mass Choir wouldn't have set a date up like that and then.
Not told him. Oh, listen, Sakina, that's way too deep. Listen, uh, the date is the date, which I don't even know what date that is. That's what I'm talking about. What date is it? Since you know all about it.
I just told you it's supposed to be December the 28th, 29th.
Oh, okay, December the 28th.
Yeah. They
I
just said
don't
it
see no
last night.
advertisement about it. Uh,
No, they
Oh,
didn't put
okay.
it up yet. Right. The pastor said, he said, I
I heard him
remember,
say that. Yeah, I heard him
right.
say that.
And so that's why I was like, wow. I remember they
I
said it
mean,
before, but now I
yeah, no,
just
no,
put
no.
a
I heard
face
him
to
say
it.
that, but I just wasn't like, completely convinced or sold that it
Right.
was still a real thing. And I'm just telling you, I just don't think
Right.
it's a real thing. Like, oh my
You just
God,
put a
that don't
face
make
to it
sense.
now though. That's why I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't know. Right, because we now
I
got a
don't
face
either.
to it, like, okay then. There you go. So what do you think about the alien stuff?
Girl, no. Oh,
Well,
hell.
see, here you go.
Girl,
I knew it. I'm gonna have
mm-mm.
to have an
I'm
alien
not, I
show.
don't think nothing of it. I don't think nothing of it. And
Give me
so
put
that's
a
that.
one in listen here. Check this out. Put a one in
No,
the
no, I'm
chat
not
if
doing it. I'm
y'all
not
want to
doing
talk
it.
about
I'm
the
not talking about no
UAPs.
aliens. Hell no. Gemini is a lot of things, but she ain't crazy, goddamn it. So listen, it ain't enough proof for me to believe or disbelieve
Okay,
at
wait a
this
minute.
point. It's just not. It's just
I got a,
not. The
I got
only
a
people
joke.
I
Let me
listen
share.
to, I ever believe, is them little kids, and that's only one group of little kids. I need them to
Let
see
me
more.
share my joke right quick. Hold on. It ain't scary. It's just funny.
You about to play something, Sakina? Don't make me come. Don't make me get off here.
Listen, I said it's not scary. I promise. It's just funny. It ain't
Yeah, but
none of that.
it
I,
better be funny.
it is. I promise. Don't trip. Hold on. I gotta find it. Just give me 1 second, minute.
Play too much.
Hold on. I gotta keep talking.
Don't be putting my whole face on the screen like that. Sakina play too much. Oh.
Where I'm at. Okay, now. Okay, I'm sorry. I just need to okay, this is what I need to do. All right, now. I'm sorry. I need to go here.
How come I can't copy this? Okay, but I can start. Okay, that should be good enough. And so I can figure out how to copy it, because I can't see how to copy it at all. It's not even letting me copy. But I started, so it should be in place. Thank you, Sally Yabinya. Okay. Oh. Uh-uh. What is Sakina? Sakina, what did you say you were doing? What are you doing?
1 second.
I don't understand. What are you doing? Like, what? I still can't understand what you saying. What did she say she was doing?
Okay, I'm right here.
Oh, all I hear is noise, like you working on something. I'm like, Sakina, working on something? What's going on? Did you say you was hammering, sanding, pasting? I don't know what you doing. Still just
All right,
busy.
here. Now I
Okay.
gotta share my screen. Share my screen. Then I gotta go here. And then I gotta hit share. And let me know when you see my screen.
I remember them, the Frazzle Rocks or something with the Flintstones.
Yeah, so this is what this remind me of.
And a one and a two. There's a place where I can go, and that's where I wanna be. I'm saying goodbye to you, good people, for I found a place for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gonna go way out, way out. That's where the fun is, way out, way out. That's where the sun is, way out, way out. Where I wanna be, 'cause that's the place for me.
Oh my.
Oh my
You are
goodness.
so funny. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
That
Is that what you think about those UFOs? They way up.
way out.
Where's my bait?
Remember how they used to
reason
freak
why
out?
I'm
They
bait
said,
now.
way
You
out,
can take all
I
blame
mean,
Sakina.
The way outs are coming. And it ended up
God,
being
I
a
cannot.
musical group. They said the way outs are coming.
Only you. I promise you. Only you. Only you would sit here and equate the UFO being way up and then think of a song to come right in with it.
The Flintstones. Yeah.
Can y'all imagine me with Sakina? She be driving me crazy, y'all. I promise you. She be singing. Listen, she got because she a comedian. She funny, but I be dying all day. I can't even do my work at
Listen.
work for Sakina. I'm busting the gut every 6 seconds. Can y'all imagine how disturbing that is? Like you don't get no rest. You're just laughing all the time, all the time, all the time.
Listen. But I'm just saying, listen, I cannot fathom not putting that in perspective because they've been saying it too long.
Uh,
Like I feel like Anita Baker. It's been so long.
okay, listen.
Saying it,
So what?
baby.
But so what? So what? They've been
Exactly.
lying to us about our history for longer than that. I mean, I don't
Right.
understand since time began, especially since we wasn't there in the beginning. We're here at the tail end, living in a full reality that they are not. Clearly, time has passed. But I'm
Right.
saying, and what's that supposed to mean? That because you've been sounding false alarms for so long that we supposed to now believe your shit is real.
I'm so sorry.
Like y'all, I don't get it. You're gonna have to help me out with that one, sis. Like, seriously, like, what are we saying? And the proof is not in the pudding. Look how long they've been making red dye, stuff like that, been killing us ever since the beginning of time. But this is one more thing that they're initiating, one more propaganda, one more, you know, false rumors of wars and wars and rumors of wars. Christ is coming back. What they say in the Bible, one more 2020. Oh my God, the end of the world is coming. One
Okay, but
more.
let's
I mean,
let's
I
look
can
at
go on
this.
and on.
Let's look at this because
That's some bullshit.
right, but the reality could be that remember the drones. They're
A
not
drone is not a UFO.
no, it's
It
not. But
is an unidentified flying. No. Let's be correct. It is an unidentified flying object. We don't know who it would belong to. It's up in the sky. It's above you. So technically, it's a UFO. But then, if we're talking about a UFO by whose standards? If it's just by that standard, oh, then we cool. Conversation done. But if it's by another standard, right? This phenomenon that they're aliens or whoever, little creatures, additional us's, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, right? Coming out of some weird spaceship. No, no, no.
okay
There is no
now.
mothership.
Okay,
That's
now let's go
bananas to
there
me.
because now you're calling uh uh people
Crazy.
aliens. No, you're
Yes.
calling people aliens. Why? Because they're from another country.
So
Get where I'm
what?
going?
Another country here on the earth, not another
Exactly. So this is
galaxy. They're up in the sky. What are we
exact. No,
saying?
this
What are
is
we
what I'm saying.
saying?
This is another
Down
part of
on
the
Earth,
foolery.
down on Earth, Alex, for 500 over any time over anything up in the sky above us, where we cannot see, where things are not absolute, where they're saying it's the void. But how do we know if it's a void or not? How do we know that? We ain't never been up there. Right? So they could make them
No.
sign NDA disclosures for all we know when they get up there and say, hey, don't tell them the truth about what you see out here. And then they come and reporting to us, hey, it's the void out there. It has galaxies and Milky Ways and this, that, and the third. See, here's some pictures. I mean, it could be anything. We don't know. We're here on the earth. So I'm going with everything that's here with me, stuck
All
here with
right.
me.
Okay. Now, again, here we go with the wordplay and the foolery. So now, everything that they say on the earth is above, and above is on the earth, and all at the
Okay.
same time. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me land, Gemini. Now, you got people that's abducting children and selling the and women, and they're selling the inside parts under the black market right? And this is another problem, right, on the inside, and they're not telling that part either. So, yeah, thank you. And this is the
Okay,
full.
listen, that does not make no sense by my own standard. Forget everybody else
No,
in
it's
here
not a
standard. By my
stand.
own
It's
standard,
not a
it
standard.
does
It's just the
that
truth.
don't make no sense. No, it don't. And
It's the
everything below
truth.
is technically, but only an allegory, right? There's no corn growing below and corn growing on the earth. There are no
No, that's
potatoes,
not what I'm
green.
saying at
No, you
all.
just said everything. When I use my analogy, you said everything. As below, you said, here's the foolery. Here, as
And
below,
that's
blah, blah,
not
blah.
about
So that's
as
what you
above,
said.
so below.
Right. That's what you said. But now when I'm
No,
bringing it back, that it's not exactly like that. It's only an allegory only. Now it's the problem.
this
Which
don't
one
have
is
nothing to
it?
do with as above, so below.
Oh,
I'm
Sakina, you
talking
got the
about,
backstage?
huh?
You got the backstage? Because I don't see him in enraged.
Let me see, cause
Do you see anybody? Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah, because normally he would come up right here. Did you hit enter the studio? I don't think you've entered the studio.
Who, me? Oh,
No, not you, him. I'm hoping he could
okay.
hear.
Yeah, I don't think he here either, cause I don't see.
Yeah, I don't see. No, nobody. Try it again. Go in and come out of the backstage.
I just seen somebody else say.
Here. I think that's another code for another link. Yeah. He said we both right. Yeah, we both are, but it's just viewpoints, right? This is why I don't
Yeah,
like to talk about it because because I'm not trying to persuade that side to sit here and believe in what I believe in, but this side always got something to say, right? They're the persuasive bunch.
and
And not this
I
side.
appreciate that, but that's and
Not
it
this
is, but
side.
I'm not on as above, so below. Not with that statement, but I could see that
Then we
flip.
can't say all. Then we can't say all. It's only some things. The bigger, more meaningful things. Because if we're in
Right,
spirit,
I'm
we're not going
trying
to
to
need
find
food
out where my
anyway. So if we're, I'm taking it to mean that if we are as above, we are in spirit. We are spirit beings. We won't need no corns and potatoes and tomatoes. So I get that because there's no way we're going to be as above and still be in the flesh. Can't even breathe up there. So
no.
to me, that would make no sense. I get it.
However, in that aspect, that just means we are a micronism of part of a macronism. Mean then that aspect, that's as above, so below. Meaning you're a small part of a bigger part, right? That's the micronism of a macronism. That's the as above, so below. Peace, Black Mills, and that's the only
Hey,
as above, so below connection of that. Saying that you're
how
a
you
smaller
doing?
part of this bigger part. That's it. People take that and go left with it and try to take it somewhere else because maybe they don't know the full true meaning of it. But that's not what it means truthfully. So that's just to say that you're a part of a universal, meaning as a whole, right? In that aspect, because if you are a part of energy, because energy is ever flowing, ever moving, that's you, your energy. And that's a part of
Really,
a mind.
Sakina, you gonna turn the whole so you gonna hijack the whole
No,
conversation
I'm
and
not.
turn
That's
it
all
into
I
some
said.
energy.
Well, no, that's just
Oh my
a
God.
inkling of what I'm saying to say that. That's it. I wasn't saying that
No,
you would do it
you
now.
Blackmail, how you doing? Sakina don't be staying on
Peace,
track.
Blackmail. I finished that up. You
Oh,
know
turn the
how it go
whole
for me.
conversation to some energy. Golly.
She got it for me though. Thank you, sister. She finna cut my energy. I'm messing around. She finna cut me off, and I ain't gonna get
Black
to come
male,
over.
what's going on today? How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, Usually I still keep Sabbath, so was all right,
Oh, that's
Usually,
good. Okay.
usually,
Well, for how
I don't
long though?
know. It's like from
For how
Friday,
long?
Friday 6 o'clock every Friday, 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Mm.
But the
Okay.
yeah, usually what I do maybe
Yeah.
you see like from 4 o'clock, from 4 or 5 o'clock, I start singing hymns, whatever hymns I have off my head and what I could get off the internet. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I would
No, that's
sing
pretty good. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
chant
I
until
don't think
6 o'clock.
people I think people underestimate fasting or intermittent fasting. I think fasting
Right.
is a wonderful thing. Yeah. How long have you been doing it?
Well, fasting.
Yes.
Yeah, well, usually we fast every Monday, Wednesdays, and maybe every first Saturday, which is like the first Sabbath in every month. And we
Mm.
still keep we still keep the what they call the Lent fast, like the Catholics,
Okay.
the 40 days fast, which is during the spring season, because we understand it's not just a religious thing. Before it was like a religious thing. You could see now people relating fasting with your health and all these things. So
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a level of
But
growth.
listen, how does Catholicism fit in it though?
How does the
How does Catholicism fit in it? You said it's a Catholic, like a
Yeah, they
mixed
also keep
Catholic,
the
but yeah.
40 days. They supposed to. Well, they don't really. Most people just say it, but they don't. They're supposed to be keeping the 40 days Lent, what they call it, the Lent season, the Lenten season, which is during the spring season, which is March.
Hmm. Oh, Sakina, didn't you do that show on that time about Lent? Okay.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
the organization I'm a member of, we keep the Lent too. You know, but
Mm.
I would admit when I got it the first time, it was I got it in form of a religious aspect. And then as I grew, I understood, the even fasting has to do with your health. 'Cause most times what happen is we you like past 40 years, if you're 50 or you're 40, the past 40 years we've been eating the same foods, and maybe what we eating maybe have effect on whatever
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
our body.
Totally.
So
Hmm.
you could stop for a while. Because being gluttonous, it doesn't mean you're just eating a lot of food. It's just
Yeah.
excess
It's
of
everything you're
something.
taking
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's everything. Yeah.
Excess of everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's interesting. So you've had the same religion now for how long?
Yeah, I've been from time I left school. But I wasn't following from. I could say I've been doing that, what you're talking about, the fasting and practicing the whole Sabbath and all these things, from maybe
Mhm.
2004, 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. No, that's good. Practicing fasting is a good thing. It would definitely detox. For those who believe in it. I'm always on the fence about, certain things because a lot of people right now in 2024 into 2025, they're still mixing, you know, um they're not getting the correct word of spirituality versus anything else. To them, everything fits in that one category, and that's not the truth. You have to separate, certain things out in order for it to be what they're calling it. But, you know, certain people subscribe to it, some people don't. So I'm always riding the fence about, you know, um, whether people call them, religious practices, spirituality, because if you flat out call it a religion, then it meets the criteria for things that we talk about, that you hear us talk about in a collective about, as it regards to religion. But if it's a spiritual practice, then that kind of exempts it.
Yeah. Well, what I could say,
what I've understood, as somebody, I mean, I'm still young to me. I'm in my 40s, so I could tell you, we're dealing with new age people and all these things. So, you have to be sharp, even in your reasoning and your level of understanding.
Exactly.
Even when you
Exactly.
represent an organization. So you have to be good,
Facts.
So,
Facts. And that's why I'm bringing it up. I mean, no cap, right? Because if
right,
for me, and if I hear that something is important to a person, then I'm going to start asking questions about it and want to know why is it that important? Because there must be a reason why we see it. You see what I'm saying? So, it's not to for the guest to take, like, I don't want you to take that personal. It's just that when you were speaking about it, right? It just sounded really important to you.
for
So we
instance,
all want to know what's the importance. We want to know that. So
yeah,
that's what the
for instance,
questions are for.
yeah, for
Mhm.
instance, what I see as religion and getting stuck in religion, because most people you'd find, I would say, universal minded people or open minded people, even in what you call maybe religion, maybe somebody maybe representing maybe the nation of Islam, and you'd see a religion, or maybe even us as Rastafari, would fall under the label of religion. But what I would say, like for instance, when I got the fasting, it was all about food, not eating food at the time. But right now they have
Okay.
a family. I've been with my my madam, my empress for the past I could say it's over 16 years, right? So fasting
Oh,
is even your sex life too.
that's
So
so
when we
cute.
fast, it's not just you maybe staying away from just food, but normally what you would do on that 40 day during that spring season, and you would see that just to take
Yes.
it out of the religious aspect, during that season, which is the March season, which is the spring season, you'd see, the trees dropping their leaves, the sea would be down in the Caribbean where I am. You would see the ocean would have a certain scent, and it would be,
Mm,
it would be kind of
yes.
rough, and it dropping all that sarcasm and all these things, cleaning itself. So it's a universal thing, of just the purging. Because fasting come like it's like you're purging yourself for a new beginning. And remember, April, which is Aries, which is supposed to be, the first month, April is supposed to be the All Fools Day. Supposed to is you really cleaning yourself, or you like you
Yeah.
said, cleaning yourself for the new year to start all over
Yeah.
again.
Detoxing. Yeah. And start
Right,
all over. Rebirth or whatever people want to call it. Yes.
right.
Yes.
Whatever
The cycles, right? Every single year. Yes.
Right, and that's where the
people
calendar
saying,
got messed up.
getting connected back to nature, all that's part of it, understanding
Mm-hmm.
the seasons and all these things. Because your body
Yeah. That's
naturally
real
connected to
sound,
this
right?
universe.
It's smart. Yeah. It's smart. It keeps you sharp. I keep saying that, when I moved from a very sunny place on the West Coast to move to the Midwest, and you only get the summer for just a few months, a couple months these days. Summer is like June and July. Next thing you know, it's getting cold by August and September. You in full
Right,
winter pretty soon. So you know what I mean? But when I had the sun every single day, oh, I was a lot better than what I am now. I feel like I'm deteriorating because I don't have enough sun hitting you. It's something about
right,
that getting back to nature, getting those things that you absolutely need, for your survival. Because and that's subjective too, right? Some people like the cold, some people like the sun. It's subjective. But whatever you feel that you need, you should be around that. And I totally get that.
right.
So
And
being
that's
in
why
the
you hear, I'm
Caribbean,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, that's why you hear these stories of these calendars and the dates that got removed and which calendar we follow and these months and all these different things that got twisted and moved around and who did what because the new year and the washing away and the seasons based off of the beginning stories. Now, I'm not going to get into that part, but again, you see in the seasons that the washing away of the dead and bringing in the new was the winter, right? And so this was this part. And so that was the beginning of the new year. So the seasons told that story, right?
Mhm.
And so you see it in the season change, right? And so some cultures celebrate that, right? And then you also saw it within not just that, but you also saw it in the harvest, right? Because that's when the planting season came. You see what I'm saying? And so that was another time that they knew that because of this change, because there was no calendars and all of those things, but that's where that invention or whatnot was coming into view. So later on, then another calendar came, and you see what I'm saying? So they'll explain that, but this is where it all stemmed from. You see, and so
Yeah, but I have a question though. So
mhm.
what is wrong with the calendar that we have? It's pretty daggone accurate. So when they say winter is coming, winter is definitely always coming. And when they
Well,
say it's
it's
winter,
about the New
or
Year Day, December 31st, and midnight, and all this other
but
stuff.
then that would make even that day though pretty accurate. Like what is wrong with that day? I've always wondered what was
Well,
wrong with the calendar that we have. It's not like it's the days are so far off from anything, from anyone one thing. The
Uh,
Harvest Moon Festival, when I was out there and saw that harvest moon was September the 20th, 21st, 22nd, just like it said. It was right on schedule. That moon came and disappeared right on the exact day. So I'm saying,
they
what
have
is
to put it
wrong with
in
the calendar
line,
that we have now?
right? Because they had to put it in line. But remember, when they moved, I think they moved a week out of the calendar, but they had to put it back somewhere along the line. Some days got adjusted
Okay.
and they put them back. And this is why you have a leap year. So some people that's born on February 29th only get to celebrate their birthday every so many years because of that. So either they celebrate on the 29th or they have to go all the way to March 1st to celebrate their birthday. So some of this stuff got adjusted throughout time because of that. And that's the air, right? And then they came up with to err is human, but to forgive is divine. And so, you get all this kind of stuff along the way, right? So it's because of the Western, right? And so that's because of this over here. Everything that happened over here, it happened only over here, right?
I get that. Yeah.
Over here was created that way, right?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Come on, that's all.
Okay.
but
Okay.
one of the main reasons that's why people who are jobbing, like I mean, most of us who've been jobbing, normally you would get a bonus in the end of the year, and it's because of that. They know they're robbing you a month because you getting paid according to how you work, and it's 40 something days. But really and truly, you're getting paid by
Well,
the week.
okay, but then
So
but then by that statement, if they're robbing us a month, then they can't take these middle months because those days wouldn't match. So where would they put this extra month if they had to? In the front end or the back end? Like where would you be sticking an extra month that they suppose that if they took away this month, where will we put it in at to make every day accurate?
well, it's 28 days. It's easy for you to do. It's just 28 days because it's a moon cycle. If you understand how your days and your months and these things come about, it's all about your moon cycle. So it's your 28 days. They just add. They what they did is just split 1 month, take the 1 month and just add it to the rest of the months. That's why Ethiopia still has 14 months, which is a Julian calendar. It's 14 months and it's based on the constellation. Remember, you have 12 constellations, so it's 12 months. So
Exactly.
365 days is the cycle of the sun moving around. You orbiting around the sun, which is your which represents your soul. You're in a solar system. The solar system,
Yeah.
which is your sun, which is the
Yeah.
most important
Okay, so
object.
you're saying they will put it at the end. They took a day and they added it to the 12 months, 1 day a piece. Is that
Is
why
they
it's
add
like 30, 31 or 30, 31, 28, 20? Okay. So you're saying they just moved it around on the back end.
Yeah,
So,
if you take according February is the only month that have 28 days, right? And all the rest of the
Hmm.
month has either 41 or 40, right? So if you have to take just
30 or
28
31,
months,
right?
you get like entire 28 days again, which is an entire month, right?
Exactly.
Now it's
So
just
Mm.
split into
how
the That's why
I,
you have a leap
Okay.
year.
right. So how we see it is 2 months of 2 months. I think it's 2 months of 2 months a year. You get an extra paycheck.
Yeah. Well, it
Okay.
seems like it by calendar, 30 or
Okay.
31-day calendar.
So
Yeah, it seems
You're
like it.
getting
Yeah.
paid by the
you get
week, but you're not getting
42. You
paid
get
for the
42
extra 2 days.
paychecks.
That's what I'm saying.
You get 58. You get 52 paychecks a year.
50, well, slash that because
Right.
52 is 52 weeks in a year. So
All
it
right.
wouldn't be one every year. So half of 52.
Right, but technically, if it's only 365, it's only supposed to be 48 paychecks or 48 weeks in a year, but it's
Yeah,
52.
that's about right.
Right, and that's why it shows up that way.
48.
But it's 52.
Mm-hmm.
So with the
Yeah.
52 shows the extra month, which they try to make up a 13-month calendar for a 13th sign because it's 52.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
Right, and so that's where it
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
in at. Right.
Because I'm just asking, right? Because we've been living like this for a long time, and again, we don't see no difference in the change of anything, right? We see
Mhm.
a climate change, but when the calendar that we have right now, every day on it, they can account for it. They know when they say it's the crescent moon, it's gonna be on this on the sixth. On the sixth is that crescent moon. So I'm just saying, where will we be adding and taking away days if things are so perfect now? You
Right.
know,
It was I don't know what the guy was, but we did a show. I'm not sure which one, and that it explained who decided the last calendar, and now they was talking
because
about
maybe time has changed, like everybody's been saying all this time, right?
yeah,
People be
remember they was
believing
talking
in,
about doing daylight saving time and all this other stuff.
yeah,
I
and
forget
all
what
this whole
day
other
we
kind of
did.
stuff,
Yeah,
right? So, but maybe time really has changed, and so it's time to change some of these calendars and some of this other stuff. I mean, I can agree with that. It's been a very long time. Have you seen? I mean, just to roll this into another topic. Have you seen the difference between us and our kids? Right, generations away. So time has really changed a lot, a lot. They look like us, but they then evolve some more, just that fast. So it's time to change stuff. It's time to change the calendar. Time to change all this stuff around us. Just take a look at your kids. You got babies, 5-month-olds talking, using their throat chakras. What is going on? They don't even have teeth yet, can't even crawl, but they're out here talking. So life has changed, is getting ready to change some more. And it is time to change everything else around it. So yeah, change the calendars and
mm,
everything else.
I
I
don't
mean, that
know.
like to blew my mind. I'm sitting here like, I know I'm not watching infants talk.
I don't want to watch infants talk. Not the way these infants cussing. I, I don't want to
That was
watch.
like, man, I'm telling you, we are behind. If these babies coming out the womb using their throat chakras, that means they've been in the womb thinking about a lot of stuff for their 9 months.
Oh,
They've
they've
been
been in
making
there
their
a
nine
long
months
time.
work
They've been in there a long time.
in that embryonic fluid. Okay, we call it super embryonic fluid these days. If these babies are being born like
Mhm.
this,
They
that
got
means
some
they are,
old parents.
yeah, they ready for their generation, whatever that looks like. Like
They parents
what?
old as Moses and Sarah. They got some old parents. I'm trying to tell you, they coming out with this much intelligence. They got some old parents, or they
No,
got
they got
some.
some young people who've had to live an old life. Yeah, for sure.
All right, they even found the secret of them or something. I don't know what's going on, but listen, them
Yeah,
kids
it's
be
a lot.
watching. Them kids be watching us. They coming out 6 years old cooking.
For real. Have you watched that child chef show? The youngest is like 7 or 8.
That's the level,
Yeah.
Could make
Yeah.
them start speaking different languages, like mastering the African languages, like the Swahili and these languages where they could write it at 7 and 8 and these things. By the time they reach 12, 15, they could be teaching in some university and they have never been to school. Because
Come
that's what's
Mm.
on.
happening right now, you know, because we know
That's
the
true.
children are like sponge. When they're at that age, it's just the
Yeah.
dedication. That's why I say most times what happened to us, we so caught up in Like I say, it's just paying bills and trying to keep up with our, whatever
No,
responsibilities we
we
have.
just had to grow up, Black Meal. That's it. We just had to
No
grow
doubt.
up.
I
Yeah,
agree.
you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that, like if I
Compromise.
could tell my kids, if I could apologize to them for anything, it would be like this conversation would go, you know, listen, in my era, life was, I mean, we was kicking it big time to the point where we forgot how old we was. We looked up and was damn, we had
Uh,
kids and then looked up and was like, wait, somebody died? Or wait a minute, dang, somebody. And
Yeah,
by that
serious.
time, I remember being like 30 and not even
That,
knowing nothing. All that time had just totally passed me by because we was too busy doing us time. We wasn't on y'all. We was not on people type of time. We was on our type of time. But no matter what time you on, you got to grow your ass up. And it was
mm,
just a little late. You know what I mean? So by the time, I actually learned how to live a full, complete, effective life, I'm 51 now, right?
but
Finally,
I
right together. I mean, it's been like that for some years, ever since I was, probably about 26. But I'm saying, like, really going through the process to understand everything as a whole. Where now you bona fide, qualified, you know what I mean, to sit here and say this to somebody else, is you've been there and done that.
yeah, but I'm watching like even my mom, things she wouldn't allow me to do, like even just the whole video game. The video game era started with like in the 80s to me, like early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And it has a great effect up to now on that
Yeah,
generation, right? So
come on. Seriously, seriously, I promise you.
yeah,
I'm
Ah,
I'm
my
hooked.
mom wouldn't allow me to play that thing all day, or
No,
even
no.
just she would stop me, and then now she would, if I have my children by her, she would allow them to just play all day. And she didn't, whereas in my time, she wouldn't even allow me to just even play that for a couple hours. Maybe just give me about 3 hours and that's it. After these 3 hours done, I need to pack it up on these things. But now they're allowing the children to just go ahead with these things. And trust me, it's a program,
Come
Yeah,
on.
level of
it it
addiction.
it it, it is. I'm telling you, it's hard. And it's like to a certain degree, it's like I always tell my kids, like, listen, if you think I'm something else, you wouldn't have wanted my grandmother to be your mother. If my mother was your mother, you kill yourself, right? If my grandmother was your mother, child, you would kill yourself. There's no way y'all was even built for those type of parents and the way they were back in the day. It was absolutely insane. And so we kind of, survived it to live to tell the day. Like, listen, now we got kids. We still kind of young. We still popping out here. And our kids is like, it almost seems like the younger we're looking, these kids have got the big idea. Oh, let's disrespect, because don't forget that's at an all-time high, right? The disrespect of authority, and I'm not saying authority like the school and the police. I'm just saying authority as in the household, right? The people don't respect their grandparents no more. I've heard young people cuss their grandparents out and
Mm-hmm.
disrespect so it's like we're paying that price, for this youth elixir. Time has stopped, so the kids don't recognize the proper authority in their own parents. Sometimes you have young parents.
Let me say this too. Now they got something called ominous, right? And ominous is not more. It's a game. So much so on a deeper level that it's a movie. It's movies. Let's say that. And so the easiest way I can explain it, other than watching some movies under the title, is
Mm,
Tiffany Haddish
mm.
experience with that game or thing that she was playing that made her tear up Common's house and act a fool. Do you remember that thing? That vision
Briefly,
thing that she was
barely.
using? Remember, it
Barely.
was like a 3D
Virtual?
visual thing, virtual
Yeah, it's
thing
like the
that you would
virtual.
watch. All right, so these are this ominous thing that you can virtual reality play
Yeah,
games
like
and things like that.
yeah. We're getting some for the holidays, some VR, but for our PlayStation. But they
Okay,
got my
so
cousins them got MetaQuest and yeah, you got
okay,
Oculus. It's called
so
Oculus.
now
I think you mean Oculus instead of ominous.
no, this is what these movies are called, like ominous, right?
Oh, okay, a
And
movie.
so they're
Okay.
showing, and so like one whole series they got is called Black Mirror on Netflix, and they got a whole bunch of other kind of movies. They're real good. They're like they're under the title of ominous, and
Mm-hmm.
so they play these things, and they are either putting something in your eye or doing something that's connected to putting a little chip on the side of your head or into this thing for a visual, like they can put this thing like the insurance company come over and instead of asking you questions about what happened, they'll put a little chip right here on the side of your head and then they
That's what
can
the movie was about.
yeah, and then they just go into your mind and see what happened. So they don't got to ask you what happened. They can just go in your mind and see what
And see what
happened at the
happened.
car accident and all this other stuff. So you ain't got to lie no more and all this. Yes. So I'm just, just throwing that out there because this is like this new ominous type of thing
Well,
going
exactly. Well, it is ominous if you are a young person who think it's okay to disrespect um your elders, right? But I can
on.
remember. Let's go there. Hold on, let's go there, right? We can remember
Yeah, they're
here
making these
right on
games
the
too.
HOK. Hold on, right on the HOK. Let's bring it. Let's bring it back, right? I can remember a time when before Uncle Keck left and took the pseudo killers with him from Sinetta, and somebody in the chat was writing, why are you talking to an elder like this? I think somebody else was on there that was older. And, his whole team was like, well, they can get it. They can get it. But his whole team are young people, right? So if you can't even, like, when we see elders, we just like, they can get it. They can get it too. Man, the future is done, Dada. What you gonna do with that? What you gonna do with that?
What is called the
So,
generational. Yeah, you see, like the elders cannot really, deal with the younger generation because they are taking patience. Worst thing, that generation coming from the 1960s there and 50s and like my parents, most of them wasn't really studying. It's just go to work and so the information and all these things coming in at that time there, it's almost like we have a big separation. So even my generation, like us, that really in that information, it's almost our job to bridge the gap. Like we become
yeah,
like creators.
fact. I like that. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
between that generation.
Yes. Just like
It's
that.
almost like we
Yep.
got that last bit of everything good. I keep on telling people that because what you're seeing right now, as much as maybe we want to be
He muted.
Oh, did you mute? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he went muted. Hold on. Let me. Oh, there
I
you
was
go.
saying like
Who muted
Michael
him? Uh oh. Okay. There.
was saying
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is like the king of pop.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us maybe might argue who between Biggie and Tupac, who would give
Yeah.
that stripe and but what I'm saying, like most of our greats has passed. Maybe we might get people who might do a little better than them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they
Mm-hmm.
definitely were not like Michael Jackson. Nobody's gonna be a next king of pop. Michael's gonna be. It's just like
Facts. The
Bob
only.
Marley. You're right. Bob Marley's gonna be the king of reggae forever.
Yeah. The only Bob Marley.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely Bob Marley. So it's almost like
Mm-hmm.
we live in a time where of just all our greats are gone. So we're not building special people like that anymore. Although we have a lot of special people. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. So
Yep.
it's a
Yep.
great difference.
Agreed.
Yeah, man.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
Agreed.
just saying,
Okay, so listen, what do you I'm gonna ask you a current a current question, right? Did you guys see the Caucasian guy, Tom something? They rescued him from Syria. And so what happened was he had been held captive in a Syrian prison for a long time. Um, did they say 15 years? Could have been more, even less. But anyways, he was captured for a long time, right? That's the point. And so his parents have been looking for him all that time, right? When they didn't hear back from him. Then they found him. Well, they found him in a Syrian prison, right? Here's the cat. Here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. You know how he ended in a Syrian prison? Because he went on a sabbatical and thought it was cool to walk over there like, hey, I'm just trying to find myself, right? I'm just trying to find Christ or whatever he was trying to find. And he found himself in a prison forever and ever. And then when they let him go, they just let him go. Like he said, he slept in an apartment one night. He slept on the streets the second night. He slept in behind some tires the third night. They just let him go because they knew they had to, but they wasn't, communicating with the states. So then they just let him go, and he was wandering in the streets. Like it's bananas.
That's bananas.
I mean,
Wow.
trying to
Well,
find. I
yes,
mean,
yes.
it's a bittersweet story, right? It's bittersweet. It's like, what were you doing in Syria? And he didn't know that they were beefing and funking. He didn't know all this had happened. He didn't know that they fell out or if there was any bad blood with Americans. He just didn't look at the map, pick a spot,
And just took a trip. Took a trip
Yeah,
straight to
that
Syria.
was crazy to me. Straight to Syria in a prison ever since he
Yep.
got there.
He found out it's real.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And I'm like, y'all got to be careful when you start hearing these voices telling you to go places, go away, away. So far away, nobody even knows where you are. You got to be careful with that. If you ever hear something telling you to just go away, ignore it.
I know
Seriously,
that
that's my
felt like
pep
a
talk for
40-day
tonight.
walk.
Regular
That's
Christians
crazy.
dream the most.
That had
Christians
to
have
be
the
like
most
a 40
vision
day
and this special thing. And not taking away our dreams. We dream when you're dreaming is a special time. Like they say, the astral projecting, most people will tell you that's what you do when you're dreaming because you're seeing your body is crippled and whatever is gone and it's taking you wherever you're seeing you at. Maybe some planet or something if you were studying, maybe you'd understand. Like a while ago when Shakina was saying about the aliens and these things, I say, most people who dream a lot, every night they do that. They travel to some planet. But what happened to most people who dream? Because they're not studying their surroundings. I always say that the reason why we're on the planet mostly is for us to understand our surroundings. The whole aspect of saying you're a God is that you understanding your surroundings. Whether it's like what Shakina is saying, the so above, the macro and the micro. Because really and
Yeah.
truly, even that so above, so below, if you study nature, like you're around nature, like us in the Caribbean, we're around nature. So every day I could just, like for instance, I could just take a lime and cut a lime and show you that same aspect of the what I was just telling you, the constellations, which is the 12 constellations, which is the 12 months, and all these things just in a fruit. Your brain, which is the left and right cerebrum, right? I could show you these things in like the Jamaican archy is that with a pineal gland, with a seed. You see two with just you see your the whole aspect of the brain. So nature does replicate itself the same way you would see the celestial bodies, I would say, like the planets and these things with their movements, like we say. And you were saying a while ago, we're star beings, not in the sense of like physical, maybe some spaceship coming from up there and coming back down to the planet. You're not seeing it like that. You're seeing it as the aspect of you being a soul, and your soul is part of the sun and all the energies coming from these planets because we're really connected to all these things. The moon, if
Okay,
the
so
moon
Black
has
Mill.
yeah. I
Okay,
was
let me
saying if
ask
the
you
moon has
something.
effect on us as human beings and the planet, obviously, you know, the other bodies would have effect on us the same way. It's just
So
that we
wait,
just
are you saying that we're supposed okay, so you're saying that people are let me see if I understand this right. You're saying that people are astral traveling the wrong way?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying whilst they're dreaming, they're astral projecting. Not in the sense, and if you could, because for instance, let's say daytime, like you on the job, like normally something, let's say you didn't go and sleep early last night and you went and sleep late, right? And you're on the job, and for some reason you're on your lunch hour, right? And once you
Mm-hmm.
go on your lunch hour, maybe you take a little break of the lunch hour and then you fall asleep. In the fall asleep, you just in like maybe in the first 2 or 3 seconds, or maybe a minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you start dreaming. And in that dream, you're some place, seeing yourself someplace that maybe you just don't understand. So I say it could be on some planet, but because you don't study the planets, you can't say, well, I was on Mars last night, because when I really noticed, Mars has that volcano, and I think I saw that exact volcano because you studying astronomy, which is understanding these bodies. So maybe when you astro project, like I say, once you're dreaming, and I'm just throwing that. I'm not saying that's exactly
Yeah,
what
I
happened.
mean, because okay, we're
It's
trying to
just
follow you. At least I'm trying to
uh,
follow you just to see what the initial statement was. Takino,
uh, normally when you
because I
dream,
know this is y'all because this is I'm gonna pass it over to Takina because I know
yeah,
that yeah,
oh
she
yeah,
got this. So since I'm tapping you in.
Okay, so, because it's more or less, and I love Black Mills because he goes real deep with it. So it's more or less like, let's say you had a dream that you had a lot of money, because everybody love money, right? And you know how you feel like it was so real. You woke up and you looking everywhere for this money because that's how real this dream was, right? You know you had this money, right? Okay, and so you like, where is my money at? Now I know I had this money. That's how real this dream was, right? And you had to sit up and wait a minute, because this was a dream,
Oh my
right? You know damn well when you went to sleep you was broke.
God.
You know that you only had $35, right? And
Oh
all
my
that
God.
dream,
Ah,
right?
where's
Now,
this coffee at?
okay. Now, because of that, you futuristically, right, laugh that off, and then you walking into your day. You still got that positive influence. You still got that mind. You laugh that off. That done made your day, right? And so throughout that day, now you done foreseen a raise.
So I'm just never gonna get an answer between you two.
Listen to what I'm saying. You done all of a
I'm
sudden
listening.
foreseen a raise when you done got to work. Okay. Now this raise has set you off. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now this raise was this money that you dreamed of, however you don't see it this way. It's still the abundance, right? But you didn't get it the way you dreamed of it, but you still received it the same way. That's all it was. It's saying that it don't reward you. You've
Oh,
already
okay.
done the
Okay, I
work,
get it. Yeah.
right? You've already
Mm-hmm.
done the work. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
here it
Mm-hmm.
is. You
Yeah. And if like you said,
foreseen
and it
it.
may not have came the way you look like, but it still came nonetheless.
Exactly. You just
Things may have
foreseen
taken a turn
exactly.
and but it still, yeah, still came. Okay.
There it is.
All
That's
right.
all.
All right.
That's all.
I'm
I
following
was
for
saying
sure.
now is normally we normally, like even me as a child, I could say um maybe the movies I used to watch before, these scary movies, it would affect, maybe what you go and when you go and sleep. If you have a dream, you might have some, nightmare. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not speaking of these type of dreams where like maybe the TV or something have effect on your dream. Maybe just a normal dream as somebody who's, because like I said a while ago, I make sure I said, Christians dream a lot. Most people I deal with, like my mom dreams a lot. She always has a dream. The next, she come and so interpreting the dream now. Sometimes, hopefully, people give you their dreams, hoping that you could interpret their dreams. So what I'm
Mhm.
saying, I'm just saying, most times, if people were studying their surroundings more and they knew their surroundings more, whether it's studying the planets
They
or
could
whatever,
interpret their own dreams better.
they
Yeah.
would be able
Okay.
to interpret their dreams much better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
someone tell me maybe last night, because normally when you're dreaming, your body is lying down, crippled. It's not shifting. You're sleeping, you're snoring, right? And some spirit or your soul, that's evidence of your spirit or your soul moving around whilst the physical body is just crippled on a bed.
Yeah, but let me ask you something. Do people really want to? Not everybody want to know their dreams. Only
Yeah,
some
for
people.
sure.
I, I
Yeah,
I
I
I
agree
I
with you.
think people who, yeah, you know what I mean. People who see it as a gift to be able to, interpret dreams or even dream dreams. I mean, I literally have a cousin who will tell you that as a child growing up, when me and her would get together and then talk as an adult, she would be like, "I never had any dreams." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "I never had any. Every time I closed my eyes, it was just dark. Every night, I never
I know
had
a lot of
one
people like
dream."
that too. I know a
Yeah, and
lot
I'm
of
like, "That is wild." So people only have to understand, if you see it that way, provided you see it that way, that dreams are
And
a
ain't nothing wrong
gift.
with that.
Not
Ain't nothing wrong with
everybody
that.
has them, and
And
that is
everybody don't
wild.
discuss them. You see what I'm
agree.
saying? So that's the
Well,
whole
that's
thing
another
about it.
half. Yeah, but that's another portion. It wouldn't be, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's another portion, and everybody don't also discuss them.
Yes, for
Not
sure.
not not seers. I would say the more advanced ones, probably discuss it a little bit more than regular people, because for some reason it's just too taboo to talk about. Nobody is really talking about dreams because they don't see it as a person's it's not your business if they dream dreams. If it's something
Right.
about you, they will tell you.
Yeah, they will tell you.
That's another
Yeah,
one of them secrets that go
Right.
down with the ship.
there you go. If it has to, yeah. And it,
You
it should
see?
remain that way. Yeah. It would
So
remain that way. I wonder what would happen if, and this is hypothetical, y'all, roll with me. I wonder what would happen if when who was that, King Saul, went to go see that civil, like maybe maybe, I don't know. It's like he knew he killed up. He's the way the story goes. He supposedly had killed up all of those seers, right? Anybody who could interpret dreams or anything else along the lines, right? He had them all killed. But then when he wanted to talk to Samuel to see what was going on in his kingdom, because stuff wasn't right, he went to the only one that was left. So they know to leave one,
right.
Stories like it
right?
tells you Daniel's vision and all these things is all vision
Thank you. And who was these
Yeah.
people? These people were trained to, and they all went to the same place that they called witchcraft, voodoo, all this other stuff. See what I'm saying? Which makes no sense.
I mean, it has the correlation for sure, right?
Yeah,
One leads to another and another. But that was our initial conversation when we first started. That how,
exactly.
right about now, we always talk about how Met, influenced Christianity, but
yeah.
now look at Christianity influencing the hell out of America.
Exactly.
I mean, look
America
how many
was
people are
made
Christians.
off
Look how many
of
people
Christianity.
grandmother and great.
You
Yeah, I
see?
mean, I know they say Catholicism is the number one religion in the world, but in the United States, I would have to say all types of Christianity is ruling supreme.
It was
They got so
built.
many acronyms, you need 10 encyclopedias to decipher.
You have to understand it was made. You see, especially that statue of Libert
Mm,
Yep.
T. Libert. Ah, yeah, she.
yeah, that's why.
But
Wow, seriously.
I would say Gemini, the stories. That's why I never, in all my research, I even got, or I almost got myself trapped in that, in my level of, because we all come like students of knowledge and all the greats. So, in my, I would say, in my life's university, because I'm learning, start watching Dr. Ben, John
Mm,
Henry Clark, and most of the Pan Africanists are not, where you would get I would say that's where the whole wave of the whole anti-Bible um,
Mm-hmm.
notion
Yeah,
came
I
about in the
understand why.
community.
Yeah, but I
And
understand why.
I
I get
understand
it.
why too. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's a growth for all of us. So what I was saying is, what I noticed also is that the symbolism and the allegories in the book, in all these mythologies, are really saying the same thing if you understand them,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It
And
is.
most of
It's
our
just
greats didn't
yeah,
have enough time to do that level of research. So
yeah,
where you would see people arguing about, because that's the whole division, why we have atheism and all these things these days. And it's something that
yeah.
was happening back in
True.
the past. Remember, we grew up hearing that the Catholic Church and maybe religion and science were always in a war, which is the Knight
Mm-hmm.
Templars. If you understand the whole story, it's like a science they were dealing with, and then the Catholic Church were burning them. That's history, right? And then we now, as a people, go through slavery and everything, and we pick up the exact thing that they're doing right now. You would see some of
Yep.
us running to the science and denouncing God. You see, so that's what happening in the community right now. Whereas these things really coincide with each other. You're supposed to be science and religion, like really science proves religion. That's what it
Yeah.
is. So most religious people would get stuck in dogma and what I would call doctrine. It's like you're
Yeah.
following a simple
Yeah.
doctrine, and you don't want to go
Mm-hmm.
outside of the doctrine. And anything to do with anything outside of that doctrine, you don't really want to head. So that's where the dogma comes in, right? So you're not
Yeah.
open minded. That's what happened to most religious people. Why they telling you they're religious? Because anything to do with, like, if it's planets and these things, that's not in their religion. Oh, that's like is pagan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is what I learned was what I learned all these is just stories. Like our ancestors wrote these stories. In, we use it in folklores, even
Yeah.
in dancing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Poetry,
Yeah. We use it all over.
all
Right? We use
over.
it all over.
In
Yeah. We use
music
it
and
all
all,
over.
we use it all over. So it's just the same story. So if you don't have the patience, most people just don't have the patience to relearn some of the things. You see what I'm saying? Because for instance,
Mm-hmm.
like I say, the astronomy, I have a love for the astronomy. So I understand the whole thing. That's the first book. The first book, which is the first mythology, is these constellations up there. Gemini, like I say, Gemini is the twins. Then you have Orion on top of Gemini. If you pull up, like, on also, if you type up the 88 constellations, or maybe the northern hemisphere constellations, you just see all these stars coming up, and they would show you what is called an ecliptic belt. The ecliptic belt is like a line, it's an invisible line, but it's a line where all these constellations pass through. That's how you have your months, right? And to
Mm-hmm.
them, the sun takes 30 days. That's how we end up with the days and these things, the 30 days to in 1 month, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what's happening there right now?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And play.
You're muted again. What happened?
He muted.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the
okay.
stories, all the stories that start coming in. Then you have Orion on top of Gemini. That's like a trinity. You could say Gemini is not like the Greek mythology is like two male figures, but in African is Huansa, and Huansa is a male and a female. So it's like Orion being the father, Lord of the heavens, which is Osiris, the same when he goes up according to the Egyptian,
Yeah,
which is
yeah. I've
becoming
heard this before. Something
right,
similar. Yeah.
right. And that's like mother, father, and child. Orion on top of Gemini, because Gemini is male and female. First two people in the Bible is male and female also too. Before Adam and Eve, God created male and female. Male and female is not really like what exists in most times. It's not really a man and a woman. A man and a woman is male and female also.
Yeah.
But
It's a duality. Right.
yeah, it's reality. Plants, animals, everything are male and female, right? So you can't call a cow a woman, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a female cow, So that is the first two people, like they would say, first two atoms or whatever you want to put, and that's how it came about. Then these stories now, we start, it's like the first language too, because if I'm standing up in China and you in the Caribbean, when you look up, you see the same, it's the same stars you're seeing, especially if you're in the same hemisphere, which is the northern hemisphere. And when I say the northern hemisphere, right now, we in the northern hemisphere are going through winter, and the people in the southern hemisphere is going through summer. So this is top and bottom, if you understand it. So people in Ecuador and these places, and Brazil and these places, which is in the southern hemisphere of the planet we're on, are going through summer. And then we are going through winter in the northern hemisphere, right? So it's like top and bottom. It's just like your brain again, left and right, male and female, polarities and all these things. It's just the whole planet. Then now, you standing up in the Caribbean, I'm standing up in America, wherever I'm, and we're looking up, we're seeing the same stories. We could interpret the same stories. So that's why all the cultures have the stories of the sun. It's all about Christ having that halo behind his head. You know, people making
Yeah.
songs about
Well,
halo.
because let me ask you something then, Blackmail. Listen,
Yeah,
Sakina, you too. So then what if, because to be quite honest, if we take a look at the current evidence, and I'm gonna say it like that, I'm gonna say it like I would think it, right? If we have all the information right now, I don't think there are any more creation stories out there. We like all the creation stories that was gonna ever be, it's out there, right? And
right.
but they're similar. So when it comes to our generation, are we ignoring some sort of red flag? Because even though there's dozens of them, they're like the same stories. It's not like, that it deviated so much to where you can say, oh, this is a whole different story. No, you can't. It's like reading the same
Exactly.
story all of the time, but just with different tweaks here and there. You see what
Exactly.
I'm saying? So maybe right now in our current time, because we don't really believe in much, and I can attest to that, right? There's very few things we believe in these days. But in the same breath, what if we're just misinterpreting, that the books are in what people creation stories? Maybe we just got it all wrong.
Exactly. And you know what we got wrong? At the time periods of demonic, cryptic, and all these other episodes that happen. And it's based on etymology, right? Because when the word changes, right, so does the action, right? Because
Oh,
people
yeah, yeah.
people
That's a
put
good
that
point.
people put that in there,
That's a
right?
good point.
So that's
Yeah,
the
no, that's a darn
intention.
good point.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
seriously,
So when that
seriously.
intention changes, right? And this was the thing, and I have to
That's I
keep
think we were talking
saying,
about this earlier, wasn't we?
right, right, and this is why I have to give it to you like I say I do, because you said um the vocabulary. Mind you, I've been retired since 2019. So when the
Yeah.
vocabulary changed, I gotta remember that trying to get back in this game. So um I gotta remember the word I'm finna try to say. Um when you're getting back in this game, y'all it's words that y'all using now that in my ex position or retired position, I have to figure out, and then I'm gonna come back with where I left off at because is real is
Okay, hold on one
detrimental.
second, sis. Hold on. I'm listening though. Hold on.
It's detrimental that I have to say this because um again when when the words change and so does the action, and it's a lot of stuff that's going on that shouldn't happen, right? And people do things now that they don't think they don't have to hold on to or explain. They think that you do, and that's not how it works. You see, and again, they think if it doesn't document it, it it doesn't, it didn't happen, and that's exactly how it goes because the burden of proof, right, is not carrying the burden. You see, And so when they say you carrying that burden of cross or carrying your own burden, no, the burden is proof, and you have to prove that sometimes when you making claims. That's the burden of proof. You can't just say something and can't prove it. That's the burden. It's proof.
So
You
did you
just
ever find the words that you were looking for me?
no. I'm gonna come back because it was something that y'all was talking about, and I'm gonna
It
hear it
was like
again and then I'm gonna come back. Yeah,
altruism.
huh?
Was it
No, it was
altruism?
something about you. It was something very, very much about you specifically, right? And
Hmm.
Gemini constellation, or
it was
um,
about Gemini and
Gemini constellation,
it
and I
was
was
about
saying
okay,
the
you
difference
helping me.
between the African interpretation of what they are, and what they look like in the heavens, and what the Greeks interpret it as. And I was giving my understanding of how I see it, because I understand that's the first book. But I would say, just to even make it easier for us, for instance, Norma or Menace, which is the first king according to what we call our chematology, the kings, the lineage of kings, right? King Norma. King Norma was called the bulls of all bulls. I mean, you could type it up and just, some of these things, because it's books I read from. I have the book that I have from Africa to CARICOM, which has a pile of all our Pan-Africanists. It's like summaries of different of their works and these things. So from that little book, just to, I got that information I'm telling you there. But Norma was called the bull of all bulls. Now, that's the symbol of the bull, which is Taurus, right? After you see the king after Norma had a ram headed, like you see, most of them have the statues there. So if you follow the statues, you would see the statues representing the age we were in. What's the age? Age is 2,160 years. That means the sun going through the different constellations every 2,000, which is like, if the sun was in Taurus, it's taking and it's going in an opposite direction from where we have it, like we going forward in the sense of anti-clockwise and clockwise, right? With the age, it's going like backwards. So although the Bible doesn't have it chronologically correct, I would say, because in Abraham time, Abraham was said to kill Isaac, and they told Abraham, do not kill Isaac no more, sacrifice the ram. That was the ending of the age of Aries, which is the ram age, right? Which we were just speaking of earlier on. Remember I was saying Aries is like the start in the first month, which is April, and all these things a while ago. So that's we could say that's solar biology, because that's the sun moving from one constellation to the next. And then now from there you have Taurus. Taurus is the constellation, which is the bull before Aries. So every king had their representation of what time it was. That's why they're telling us, some most conscious people will tell you, we're in the Pisces age and we're about to leave the Pisces age, heading to the Aquarius age. So you'd see people with that symbol of like a fish, all Vishnu, Jonah and all these people going through that fish, and you're seeing a man with a fish, or maybe a man with a fish head, or Jesus. Maybe somebody have a name of Jesus in a fish symbol. All these things. That brother that was there recently was giving that thing on Sanada, was giving the Rod Hayes, right, was talking about the Dogon and these things. The fish is the same fish, Pisces age, which is two fishes. So yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ages, different ages. So all the book is saying that when Moses that come and made the people dancing around the calf, and he struck the calf, that was the ending of the bull age, which is the Taurus age. Because you can't take these stories literal. Imagine Moses just turn a rod
Hold on,
to a
are you
snake.
guys getting a bad? How come I'm getting?
We couldn't take these stories literal. If we had take the stories literal, that's why when they asked the pastors last night if he believed that most of the stories in there was literal, they say yeah, everything is literal. That's being religious. That's not adding science to the stories. Because literally, a man cannot go in no fish and live for 3 days and then a fish come and throw him up because we think God could do anything at any time and these things. We come out of that level of thinking. That's a Christian way of thinking and seeing things. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
we understand there's
Yeah,
allegories
it
and
really is. Hmm.
even the book, even the book says in Galatians chapter
Yeah,
4 says
yeah.
that
Seriously.
story of Abraham and things, their stories, they're allegories. The book itself says that, you know. So we used to do that. That's our ancestors type of writing. That's how we
Hmm.
used to hide our secret knowledge, is to write it in stories, exaggerate our stories, so that who come across the stories can't really understand the stories. So there's a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot to it. I mean, agreed. I don't think it's just so cut and dry, but sometimes I wonder, have questions. Sakina, why you looking like that? Why you been making all them faces back there? What's up, sis?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my daughter.
You
Listen,
play too much.
listen. So she came down. Listen, because I'm leaving tonight, right? Or early at midnight.
Okay, so
So
you decided to go. I didn't know. I don't know
right.
that when you say right.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. Right.
You talking about
So
some right?
The
That's
stories
my first
in
time
the
hearing about it with
stories.
everybody else.
okay.
What kind of
So
sense does that make?
right. Oh, so I'm leaving tonight, and so I'm drinking red cup, and so doing it on the way over, and
You drinking who?
red cup. It's wine. So I said red
What?
cup because I'm not drinking out of wine glass. I'm drinking red.
Oh, solo.
Right. No, yeah, well, because I'm down here anyway. I'm drinking with y'all. Cheers. Here's a toast to you. Right. So, yes, I know. Don't do it, sister. Please keep our energy on.
Oh, she got her mic out. What is going on now? Testing, testing, one, two, three.
Celebration time. Come. Do, 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 do. Come on. We don't know the right. We're going to
I have
karaoke for a minute.
questions.
Yes, come on.
I have questions about the trip though. So like what time is it gonna be and all that stuff? Like,
So
I mean, I don't want to know out loud, but make sure you tell me like, how many hours is on the train? That's what I want to know. Like how
I'm
many hours?
leaving. Come on in. On that midnight train to Wisconsin. Woo! Yeah. While she buffering. I said, I'm going back. I'm going back to find all two kids of mine. Woo! Yeah, I'm going to Wisconsin. I leave at I think my train leave at 2:30. It's only one train. Listen, let me get off here. It's only one train to leave out of here. At 2:30 in the morning. I don't know why. It's only one that leave out and it's only one that come in. I guess because it's the Dakotas. All right. The interesting part about it is that the Mississippi runs up and through here. From here to Minnesota, it runs through here 4 times. Right? And so that's quite interesting. Right. And another interesting thing about the Mississippi is it's polluted. How about that?
Okay.
Right? Some seawater has creeped into it.
Oh.
Right. And so this has happened I believe it said over the last 4 years. I'm going to look into it and maybe do a presentation on it. So the Navy been working on it and whatnot, but it has affected the people in St. Louis all the way to Chicago, and with the water in Flint being I'm not sure have they been working on it yet, because they have been sending water to them in Flint and out of Chicago even. So I'm not sure where they got with that since then. And this has been since the summer is the last time I looked into it. But yeah, we're gonna have to check into that. Because that was a problem, right? And I'm not sure who told me this, but we can look into that. Something about bees have invaded us from somewhere, and they had to bring in bees from somewhere else to filtrate these bees to balance out the ecosystem. And I don't even want to. Let me take all that back. Skip that, because I remember when they did that with fish, right? And so let's leave that alone for a minute. But that was something I just heard. Now that's not a scare tactic or anything, but that's just something to be like, wow, they did that. I remember the last time they did that, and then now Florida got their own monkeys. So let's just take that into consideration, right?
Oh my God. Oh
Listen,
my
I'm not never gonna
God.
get up there, right? Because that's
Okay. Listen,
what.
and I'm getting it dropped me. Like this StreamYard is acting
Yes, I
so
wonder
weird.
what
It dropped my
happened.
whole everything.
I wonder what happened.
Yeah, it just
And
dropped
might
me
I
off the
say,
chat completely. I mean, off the panel. Like, I mean, yeah,
you look so Saturday beautiful. What's going on,
right.
girl? Why you glowing like that girl that sang Silver Shadows off of what's that, Atlantic Star?
Atlantic Star. That's my jam. Ay, girl, don't even get me started. That's
Come
ay.
on.
And some music was good back there in Atlantic Star days, boy. Woo!
Right. I
And I
mean,
was
look, you
young
got it
too.
going
And that
on
was
right
like,
now.
man, that was like all the party songs right there.
Right. That's
Right.
what it's
Like,
looking like right now. Like, what's
yeah.
going on? I gotta finish packing.
You know, when I got off work yesterday, well, when I came into work, somebody
Which
said the
one?
same thing. As soon as
Which
I
one
came
are
to the
y'all?
door, they said, "What's his name?"
Which one of y'all
What you
proposed to
say?
one of the pastors? To me, one of y'all proposed to one of the
Wait, I can't
pastors,
hear him,
asked
Sakina. What
them
he
to get
say?
married.
he said, which one of you? He said, why you
My
propose
computer acting up again.
that? Because I didn't do it.
Yeah, I said, which one of y'all proposed to the pastors? One of y'all had proposed to the pastors, one of the pastors earlier on was us listening, you know. I'm just joking, you know. Yeah.
No, it wasn't me.
Oh,
Sure enough. Not
what
me.
I didn't hear the whole thing. He was breaking up. Say it again for you, Sakina. What did he say? One more
I
time.
say,
Because it was still breaking up all that time. You said which one of
yeah, I said, which one of y'all proposed to the pastors, you know? Y'all are saying, you know, the pastors, you want to marry one of the pastors. He was just saying it in a joking way, you know, he was being sarcastic at the time. Yeah.
Yes. Never mind. Yes. To work.
Oh,
Oh, this is Rasha. Hold on. She probably like, where y'all at?
yeah, Rasha.
Hey, Rasha. We're
Oh,
on live. Are you coming in?
yes. So did you see about the volcano that happened in the Philippines?
Yeah, but I mean, don't they
Did,
have those over that way
um,
already? What makes
well,
this one so different?
some of I think this one was different because uh this one was like a 7.5, and they didn't know the way it erupted. They just had to go. I'm pretty sure that's how they all
Oh,
are.
sure.
This, yeah, this one erupted in uh I'm assuming it was like
It
a
was
Mount
coming
Rush.
down the mountain.
Yeah, this
Dang.
was like a Mount Rushmore. It just came out of nowhere. It was like a silent one that hadn't erupted in that long or something. And it was like I said, a
Mhm.
7.5. And man, it just out of nowhere, and
That's
everybody,
When that
crazy.
happened,
huh?
That is like, ugh, I
when did
couldn't
that
even
happen?
imagine. Like,
I'm sorry, what you say, Black
I mean,
Male?
can you imagine running from a natural disaster like that?
Yeah, asking you when that happened.
Um, 2 days ago, and it's still going on right now. Like, it's the asphalt, or not the asphalt, but the smoke. I don't know what they call it. I thought it was asphalt, but no, asphalt is that black tire. Whatever the ashes from the smoke is still, the thickening of that. The ashes on the street is thick as snow. And I'm not sure if it's still coming out. The smoke itself is still coming out of the mountain or the volcano itself, but I'm not sure that it's still live and active right now going on with the smoke. And the ashes is just terrible. So they can't even breathe being there. So they had to evacuate that whole area. It's called Maui, Philippines. So yeah, you can look that up. It's terrible.
For sure. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that had been happening to us in the Caribbean for the past few times. The island next to us, because if you type up like where we are, I'm in Saint Lucia,
Mm-hmm.
Saint Vincent, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And ours now, we have a volcano on our island too. But our volcano is one of the, I wouldn't say the only, but yeah, I think it's a walking volcano. We literally bathe in our volcanoes every day. Like, tourists go in the volcano. Like I'm speaking right now, there must have people, they're bathing in the volcano as we're speaking. Yeah. Because ours, what happened after its eruption, the place where we call Sufre, which is the south of the island, it just made one with the place, the community. So people been living there, and it hasn't erupted in a long time. So we have people literally. I didn't even want to say that because it sounds funny sometimes when you see that. People literally living in the volcano, build houses in the volcano. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a great tourist attraction. You could type it up and see it, Saint Lucia. Yeah, the volcano, Sufre volcano. Yeah, but every year they've been erupting different places. Ours haven't given us any trouble in a long time. So I'm
Right.
hoping,
So to
I'm
see
praying
them
it
blow
stays.
up like that is just incredible. Like the ones that have blew up in uh what is that? Greenland or whatever that is, where they,
Right,
they have to make them people move.
right.
Um right, it's separated one side of the island from the other side. And this kind of it's been like none other. I think they had a couple that did it in the Yukon, not the Yukon, Yellowstone, and they kind of worried about the ones in Yellowstone. But I tracked the other day. Yellowstone had over 2,000 earthquakes at one time, um, and that was incredible. Now some of them were like point 0.3, uh, like 0.3, all the same. But at the same time, that's just a lot of minor, minute earthquakes at one time in a specific area. And then the other ones were on the other side, like in Asia, in India, over on that side. But all the same, that's a lot of, oh, your network acting up. Oh, listen, and so this is what I'm saying too. So we got a lot of storms and whatnot coming through. So I'm gonna talk with Gemini because I want to. We did a show once on CERN, and so I want to tap back into that and do a recap on CERN. And let's get into that and look into some actions and reactions on some things. Yes, because we've seen a lot of stuff go on, and I believe we've had 97 or so hurricanes between January and now. But I want to wait till the end of the year so I can get an accurate number, right? And let's do some let's look into this and see what's going on, and not just look into what they say, but let's get into what they don't say, right? And so with that, it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. And Black Mill, I so appreciate you coming in here and sharing your input as always, right? So I'm going to ask you to give us something to close out with, please.
Yeah. Yeah, Gemini, wherever you are, all respect, Jumbo, Amani, Barry Ghani. Yeah, so all love to the panel, Yes, Sakina, keep thanks for having me in, And, even just sharing the knowledge all the time is always a joy. So all respect, Till we meet again.
Yes, and we always appreciate you having you and sharing that knowledge with us as well. It's an honor meeting you, and we appreciate you to come back and share and teach something on this panel. It will be a blessing. And for everybody that joined us tonight, we thank you and we appreciate you joining tonight with us as well. And so until next week, Shem and Hotep, love you much. Thank you for coming.
She got style, grace. She got attitude. Feel it much in her touch. Show my gratitude.